Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another session of Premier League predictions.
Yes.
If you're wondering about the shirts, don't ask. But if anyone wants to leave a comment, because we will guarantee you exclusive explanation as to why we are wearing these shirts.
Also, these go for sale. We have a very good offer. Once
Yep.
we've worn ones,
Merchandising.
we can wash them or not, depending on what you want. If you
Yes.
wanted them,
Okay.
let's move on to what we're
Yes.
better at.
Yeah. Let's first of all start by commenting on the big game during the week. Arsenal against Man City.
Oh, okay. We can do that. Yes.
Yeah, obviously a very important game. City, who could have been 6 points behind or more, now are ahead on goal difference.
Mm-hmm.
My take on the game was that the game was there for the taking for Arsenal at the end of the first half. Ederson had been booked, the two full-backs for City had been booked. So there was, but I think City, Guardiola outsmarted Arteta in the second half. He made it more physical, broke up the game a bit more. Arsenal stopped playing football and got involved in arguing with the ref and arguing over different things, and they lost their focus. And City just were more clinical. They took their chances. Nketiah missed two good headers.
In the first half, I'd agree. I think that Silva is a great player. He's not a left back.
Not at all, no, yeah.
And that was craziness. Could easily have gotten 2 yellow cards from the amount of small fouls, but just the number of them.
Yeah. Which led to the last one he got booked on was probably the most innocuous of all of them. But it was just
the
build-up.
accumulation.
But then in the second half,
they moved him,
and
he really, that's what he's good at.
Yeah, and Ake did a really good job on Saka in the cup game and did the same in this one.
Yeah.
So City, good value for it at the end, and
absolutely
makes it interesting going forward.
Yeah, look, we'll be talking about Arsenal, and we might make it shorter when we talk about them. They're the first game on Saturday.
That's it. A very important game, yeah.
Very important game. Like going in, I think it's 1 win and 6 now. They haven't won their last 6 Premier League games between draws and that defeat now.
They lost to City, then they drew at Brentford. So they maybe lost 4 in a row, or they haven't won.
They drew a couple. They haven't won in quite a few.
Yeah, exactly.
And so obviously it's a slump. And away to Villa is not the match that they'd like to have, but then again, it's the match they need.
Yeah.
I will go first, and I think that the heads are still down, and these games coming thick and fast. Emery has a point to prove. I'm going to go for maybe Villa to sneak it, to rub extra salt in the wound.
Yeah, I do think, we've got to have a bit of perspective here. Arsenal finished 6th or 5th or something last time. They missed out on the Champions League. So, progression, right? You would expect them, say, this season to get into the top 4. So, I think over the season, I've kind of changed my mind now a little bit. Maybe I reckon Arsenal, things are going to get worse for them. Well, I think they're not going to win this game against Villa. And I think they have an away game against Leicester as well, too. I think they won't win that. And I think after that, then they've got a home game. I think things will pick up again. But I can see them maybe finishing. I think City are going to drop points though.
Oh, yeah, this is not a clinical
I think
City
City have risen to the occasion now because it's been put up to them.
Yeah.
But over the next 18 games, I think they're going to drop points.
They're going to switch off again.
Yeah. So it depends on whether Arsenal can kick on again after this bad spell and start to kind of get points again, because I think City will open the door in the future. But I do think that this will be a draw. I think that Arsenal are going to kind of go through a little bit of that dip is going to continue longer.
Okay, well, we'll see there now.
Especially if Partey is injured and,
Partey injured, and I have to say, Martinelli, he's still playing well, but he's not scoring goals.
Yeah, he's
dried up a bit.
His form is dipped. Well, the one thing is the guy coming in, Trossard is coming in and done a good job. Saka hasn't been. Maybe they've caught onto him a bit more. Maybe things are a little bit more strict for them. But I think that just fans trying to get in.
Autographs later,
autographs later. Sorry, okay. We start Thai fans. We do a Thai video as well too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
moving on.
Draw. And then Brentford at home to Palace.
Brentford is home to Palace. With the form that Brentford have, especially at home, though you're going to tell me now they drew or lost their last 5 games at home. But
No, they've won their last 3 at home and they haven't conceded in the last 2.
they're lovely, good. I'm glad to have a rough idea of a stat in my head.
Unbeaten in the last 10 games overall.
Yeah, but I'm really liking the manager. He's probably one of my favourite managers in the league.
That's true.
The honesty on him on interviews. And they're playing great football. Them and Brighton are playing probably some of the best football in the Premier League at the moment in terms of attacking and teamwork. It's lovely to watch. Talking about a team being better than the individual parts. Tony's on the form of his life. Palace, we always say Palace, when they want it, they'll do it. When they don't, they're not bothered. So I'm predicting a victory for Brentford here.
Yeah.
I think 2-0 or 2-1.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brentford will win this one. Palace were winless in their last 6, drawn 3, lost 3. They've lost 3 of their last 4 away games. Like we've spoken before, they're like a solid mid-table. They don't have nothing to play for, just kind of like turning up. Brentford, I think, will be hungry for this one. Brentford win, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that leaves an interesting game. The two probably most improved teams or surprise teams of the league, Brighton at home to Fulham.
What do you think? That's a tough one
I
to
was
call.
going to go for a draw earlier on, but then I saw a stat that that Brighton
He's
have
Mr. Stats Man.
Brighton have conceded the highest percentage of goals from set pieces, while Fulham have the most set piece goals, and Mitrovic has the most Premier League goals. The team he's got the most Premier League goals against is Brighton. So I think there's a weakness there in Brighton that maybe they won't like playing Fulham, will be kind of quite direct on them. And I think that will give Fulham the advantage on this one. I think it'll be an interesting game, 2 very informed teams, very exciting teams. I think both teams are going to go for it. But I just think Fulham might sneak this one. Mitrovic maybe to score.
Yeah, I see that on my fantasy football, of course. I see Mitrovic is in a yellow, so there's a slight doubt about him.
Oh, okay.
So that's a big factor, obviously. If Mitrovic doesn't play, you probably go change it to a draw.
Maybe to a draw, yeah. That's right.
And if Mitrovic plays, he'd be going for the Fulham victory.
I think so.
And I'd go for a draw. I think Brighton will have better opportunities. I think they're going again through a little bit of a lull. In terms of getting the draws, their free goal, the goal scoring aplenty has calmed down a bit.
That's right. They beat Bournemouth 1-0. They drew 1-1 with Palace.
So I just see the goals drying up just that little bit, and
they are creating chances though. McAllister could have had a hat trick in the last game. Just didn't score. But okay, so what do you think?
I'm going for a draw.
Draw on that one. Okay. Then in Chelsea at home to Southampton.
Southampton, what can you say?
Well, Southampton, they're really in relegation.
They're in relegation. They're sacked their manager, talking about getting Marsh in. I mean, like...
No, I think it's the wrong person for that.
I think they need someone who's going to be championship ready.
Yes, exactly.
I think they need to have their mind on championship. Sorry, the sun I know is going right into my head. I'm not Jesus, just for the thing. I'm not going, what do you call it, up into the sky.
He's ascending.
Ascending? No, it's not Ascension Thursday.
Okay.
It's just God is listening. There we go. And God agrees.
We're talking about the Saints.
We are talking about the Saints. They need a miracle.
They need some godly intervention because they've 1 clean sheet in 28. Since the World Cup, they've lost most matches 6, and the second fewest points 3. They've lost 9 out of their last 10 Premier League games. I mean, 10 men against 10 men Wolves the last time.
That was it. At home and against 10 men.
I mean, Chelsea as well.
Chelsea can't score a goal.
They can't score. Not scored more than 1 in the last 7.
Yeah, so there you go. I think 1 will do it for him.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm a huge fan of Reece James. I said it on last week's video.
He was impressive against Dortmund as well midweek.
Yeah, if he stays fit, because he's so injury prone, I predict an easy 0 on their side in terms of the Saints not scoring, and you got to see one of them put the ball in the back of the net, Mount or Havertz, who is good.
You see, Chelsea's backline is good. They're not conceding goals, but you would expect them to score at least 1 against Southampton at home. One thing about Graham Potter, which I think is not good for him going forward, he's drawn as a manager for Brighton and for Chelsea. He's got the highest draw percentage of any manager who's played over a certain number of games. 37% of his games being draws. He's drawn more than half his games against sides in the relegation zone starting the game. That kind of shows like a lack of ruthlessness.
Yeah, he's better at setting up teams who won't have possession and press and get him on the counter.
Yeah.
So suddenly he's got these players and they have the possession. He's not used to the
Yeah.
figuring out the guile to unlock
Yeah, I don't see him
a
lasting.
defensive team.
I don't think he'll be in charge starting next season. He's just
I
not,
doubt it.
He's not. Chelsea need like
I think he'd be a great signing for any mid-level
yes,
club.
yeah,
But if you're a top 4, top 6 club, no.
yeah. Chelsea needs someone that with a bit of panache or style, you know, in how they speak, how they dress
Yeah.
as well. I know it's a terrible thing to say about a football team, but that just seems to be Chelsea, you know. Everton at home to Leeds. Okay, Everton, they were up against Arsenal, then they lost to Liverpool. They're at home now again against this one.
Yeah.
Leeds, another team who are really in trouble. Since Leeds beat Chelsea in August, they've won the fewest Premier League games.
Yeah.
Played 19, only won 2, drawn 6, lost 11. Only Southampton have fewer points.
Yeah,
They've only won 4 games out of 22 this season.
Well, we said it at the start. Like Rodrigo going was a big loss. You were saying, where are the goals going to come from?
Yeah.
That Bamford guy,
It's not done it for them, no.
no, like his injury, okay, a lot of injuries, but seems to have not a great attitude as well then when he's on the field. He's
Yeah.
complaining, oh, I'm not getting the right service and that,
Yeah.
you know.
And Everton, the lowest scores in the Premier League, also a team that can't score. I think it must be a low-scoring game, right?
I mean, you know that Dyke is going to be saying we'll have his defence a bit better.
Yeah.
They were poor against Liverpool, but saying that, they hit the post. And it was on the break that Liverpool got that first goal. Now, had that header gone in from Karlowski and Everton were 1-0 up instead of being suddenly 1-0 down
Might have been a
30
difference.
seconds later,
Yes.
hard to say. Second half, they were really poor.
Okay.
I would fancy a draw here. I'm going to go for a 0-0.
Yeah. I'm going to fancy Everton at home to sneak a 1-0 again on this one. Home crowd
Okay.
up with them again, 1-0 to Everton. Okay, then Forest against Manchester City. Can we see anything but a City win? City won the first game 6-0.
I think that City will win. I will predict a City victory. But this, I don't think, will be as straightforward. They'll have one eye on the Champions League the following week.
That's true, yeah.
You know the way Guardiola rotates with that in mind. So you could see a team with no Haaland, no De Bruyne, a lot of changes in that team.
Yeah.
And as you said at the start, they were up for the Arsenal game. They'll be complacent going to
Maybe
Forest.
so, yes, okay.
I think they'll win because the skill of them will be there, but I could see Forest giving enough right before they win.
Okay.
So
Alright, okay.
I could see it being a 3-1, but Forest getting the first goal.
Yeah, that's true because, you know, it depends. We don't know who's going to play. I think if Haaland is playing, he could easily get a hat-trick in this one if they were to go at it, but it depends what kind of mentality City take into it. I agree. I think City still have to win this one.
Yeah.
They might put it to bed maybe by the first half and then take off some players. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Okay.
But a word for Forest, they're unbeaten in the last 7. You know, I think they're exceeding expectations and they're doing really well.
It took them a long time with all the players they've signed. It's taken a while, but they're playing like a team. They still struggle to score goals, quite frankly. You know, and some of their attack guys haven't. You know, mainly I'm talking about the ex-Man United lad Lingard.
Yeah, he's not really in the squad very much these days.
no
Maybe
harm.
he's injured or something, or I'm not sure. But is it Johnson has stepped up? He's been doing well for them.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Wolves at home to Bournemouth.
Wolves, Bournemouth. Okay, I'll go first with this. I mean, I saw Wolves absolutely destroy Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, low of confidence, there for the taking by anyone really at that moment in time. Bournemouth are so poor.
Yeah.
You can't see anything but a Wolves victory here.
Yeah. When they're winless in 7, scored just 2 goals in the last 7 games.
There we go.
They've lost their last 6 away games. No goal in their last 4 away games.
Yeah, when
I
we
mean,
look
these
at
are damning. We use the word damning every time, and they did
the
have a
stat
respectable
service.
draw with Newcastle away to Newcastle.
They did,
You
and
know?
Newcastle are going through their own slump.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talk about Arsenal's slump, but
Yeah.
Newcastle have a slump as well.
And Wolves, I think, are going up. There's a new freedom with the team
Yes.
that maybe they didn't have before. I think they're enjoying playing under JL,
Yeah,
and they've So I think Wolves win on this
Wolves
one, right?
victory, yes.
Wolves victory. I'm going to go for this one. Okay, talking about Newcastle, our team's in bad form. Well, Liverpool, except they had a win the last day. Newcastle at home to Liverpool. Newcastle, okay, unbeaten in 17. It's their defence really that's keeping them unbeaten because they're not able to score goals. They've drawn their last two, 1-1 with Bournemouth, 1-1 with West Ham. The goals have kind of dried up for Newcastle, so I can see this be a low-scoring game. Liverpool have lost their last 3 away games. Actually, a stat: Liverpool have lost in their last 3 away games. They've conceded 3+ goals, and they haven't conceded 3+ goals away from home since 1954 in 4 consecutive games. So it could be a new record. But I don't see Newcastle scoring 3 or more goals against them. So I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw on this one.
Okay, I'm not far behind you on that. Liverpool very wide by a victory over your arch rivals, your neighbours. A derby match could be just the thing to trigger a kind of an upturn of confidence, and it is confidence is the number one problem. But it's so brittle, and confidence is a fragile friend, and so. Away to Newcastle. Newcastle have only lost 1 game this season, and that was in Anfield. So they'll be kind of eager to fight that, and get revenge for that. I'm like you. The goals with dried up, even though Liverpool will give them opportunities for goals. I'm hoping that newfound form. I'm really impressed with that youngster. All this talk about spending 120 million, we mightn't even get Bellingham anyway if we don't have Champions League. But this Batic, fine player, developing, save a fortune. He is a very, very intelligent, great passer of the ball, defensive midfielder. Give that boy time, give him more experience with other lads in better form than Thiago.
Yeah, give him a break.
And he could be your solution and save you 100 million.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and what I just got aside. All the young players for Arsenal developed because during our bad phase, when we were in the Europa League, we were able to blood players.
Yeah, you had no choice. You just couldn't get the top-notch names.
And that could be a chance for Liverpool as well. But that's down the line. Okay. So then we have Man United at home to Leicester.
Okay, I'll take this. Okay. I mean, look, Man United had a very, very good draw against Barcelona there last night or the night before.
Yeah, exciting game, yeah.
Exciting game. Rashford is keeping his run going. Fair play to him. Yeah. And Leicester have also had a couple of good wins.
They had, didn't they?
Considering where they were, and you were saying that their form since after
4 goals against Spurs, 4 goals against Villa.
Yeah. So suddenly they found their goal scoring. This is a very exciting game. A very interesting one to call. Maybe United will have one eye on the second leg against Barcelona.
That's true, and they played on Thursday night as well too, you see. So
so there's that factor, and you could be resting a few boys. I'm going to fancy a draw here. I know, sorry.
I agree. I think there'll be goals. I think it could be maybe something like 2-2 or something. It's going to be an exciting game. Some stat as well. Since August 22nd, United have earned the most Premier League points, so they would be top if the table went at that point. So they've had
they had their start.
They had a very bad start, but they've been very good since then.
Yep.
Rashford scored in his last 6. I think this is a game about individuals. Maddison is involved in 21 goals in his last 19 Premier League games, scoring 13 assists, 8. Iheanacho as well is back in form. He's involved in 5 goals in his last 2 games, as many as his previous 27. I think they brought in some new players, January transfer window, attacking players, and it seems to have sort of like
reinvigorated or re-energized the squad.
Exactly. And Leicester as well, behind the scenes, they cleared off their debt. The Thai guy paid off their debt as well too. So it's just a few positive steps for the club. And so I think a draw. I think you're right. I think United will have one eye on the game next week. And the final game, Spurs against West Ham. This one could go either way, couldn't it? It's very hard to predict.
Well, that's a VJ comment. It could go either way. Of course, it could. 2 teams there.
Yeah, well, it's very hard to predict. I mean, this one.
Yes, we've seen their Spurs. We've seen the best of Spurs against City.
Yeah.
And then we've seen some terrible Spurs. As a typical Spurs against Leicester.
They lost to Milan midweek. So they'll have played. Obviously, they'll be playing. Are they playing again?
They won't play straight away because it's next week, like Liverpool and Man City.
There'll be a break. That's right.
A bit of a break. I think they can focus on this game, but Conte is still at home recuperating. And of course, on behalf of all of us in Thailand, we wish you a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
And yeah, West Ham are kind of they're not playing great,
No.
but they're kind of grinding out
Two
results.
draws. They drew. They came back to equalise against Newcastle. They came back to equalise against Chelsea. So they've taken 5 points from the last 3, as many as the previous 10.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a mini revival, but
Yeah,
nothing great. I
no.
think if Spurs are up for it, they can take them. But it depends on what Spurs team show up. I'm going to go for a draw on this one.
I'm going to go for a Spurs victory. I think the Kane-Son combination, the will at home, Kane will get on the score sheet again. And even though Son's having a poor season by his standards,
Yeah. Not happy. Yeah, something's not
there's
right
something
there.
behind the scenes going on there. But
Maybe with Conte as well too, and how Conte plays them. You know.
mm,
Spurs have been really poor since the start of the year. They've lost 4 out of their 7, as many as they lost in the previous 22 before that. They're dangerous from corners though. They have most goals in the Premier League from corners, but West Ham have yet to concede from a corner, so that will be interesting as well too, the corner kicks. Okay, so we're going to leave it there.
You have it now.
Yeah, enjoy the football,
Enjoy,
and we'll be seeing you all again. Before you know it,
Before you know it, it'll
Take
be
care.
another one.
all the best.
Bye for now.